I'm going to demonstrate how I make masks. I have 3 different sizes here. This is the one I use most often, regular adult, and this is a child size. And because I think I didn't have elastic at the time, and also because kids have a hard time keeping it on their ears, I made ties for this one. And here is a large. As you can see, it's not that different from the regular adult size. It's a bit wider, and it looks the same length, but it's actually longer. So these masks, the way that I like to make them, they do have both a pocket and a place to insert a wire for the nose. And the pocket is if you would like to put a filter. So I'll show on the regular one. So yeah, this is the top. You can't really see well, but on the inside you'll see there's a channel to put a twisty tie or some other kind of wire. And then the pocket, the back is actually like 2 pieces. So this is the back in 2 pieces. And if we were going to insert a wire, we would do that right here. I would just insert a wire right there. And then this is also where I would put either a surgeon mask, just like slip it in there, or a coffee filter or some other kind of filter. And the children's mask, I already have a wire in here. And I think it's a good idea to take the, twisty tie or pipe cleaner out when washing. See, this one has a pipe cleaner in it. Just take it out or leave it in there. But yeah, and then it can go over their nose. All right, and in terms of sizes, for children's mask, I found that it's easier if I'm making a bunch, if I make templates, that's for me easier than just measuring it out. Size for a child's mask, I'm not sure if you're supposed to say the length or width first, but anyway, 5 by 7. And for the front, and then the back is like 2 sides, and what I've done for that is 3.5 times 7, so 2 pieces. So this is for a child's mask, you have 2 of these pieces and 1 of these pieces. For regular adults, we have 9 by 6 for the front, and then 2, I could have made them I guess this is all right. 9 by 4.5 inches, 2 of these for the back. And for large adults, 9.5 inches by 7 inches. You could do 9.5, or you could go up to 10. 9.5 has worked better. It seems like the complaints about the regular size, when they really need to be longer. So 7, 9.5 inches by 7 inches seems to be good. I could have made these like each side a bit longer, but 9.5 inches by 4.5 inches. I could have done 9.5 inches by 5 inches and 2 of those. And if you do not have elastic, I just got a bunch of elastic, yay. I made a template for the ties, for adult, and how wide is this? How wide did I make this? Yeah, this is like 2 inches, 2 inches thick, and it's for children. I made them. I'm not sure exactly. I think 16.5 inches was good, and those seem to work well on my kids, my 3-year-old and my 7-year-old, and then 18 inches long for adults. And people have not said there was any problem with that. I've also used ribbon, but just folding fabric and ironing like 4 times and then just sewing on the edge seems to work well. So I'm going to use my rotary cutter to cut out a piece for a regular regular size adult mask. I'm cutting a piece for the front. This is relatively flat, but I will iron it again after I cut it. Hopefully that went smoothly. Yeah, just about. All right, so there's the piece for the front. I've also got my back pieces cut now, and now I will go to the iron. All right, so now I'm ironing. I should note this is cotton that doesn't stretch. I've been using, I think, as far as I know, what I've been using is 100% cotton. Some people are using a cotton poly blend. I think what's important is it's preferred that it's not stretchy. So I'm ironing those all. I'm putting it on the cotton setting of the iron, and I did add water. It just seems like it irons better that way. That is what I've been doing. Yep, I'm working on 2 masks right now. And see you at the next step. Okay, so now I have ironed all 3 pieces. I folded and ironed a seam into each of the pieces of the back of the mask, and now I'm going to sew them. I'm going to sew those little folds down. Okay, so now I've sewn them down. Maybe is the tension exactly how it's supposed to be? I'm not sure. But honestly, I don't think it matters that much. It's more about practicality than it is about perfection. All right, and I should have mentioned before, for a regular adult mask, I do 6.5 inches, 2 strings of elastic, 6.5 inches. And now I'm going to show how I pin it all together. So here's my front. I'm putting that down. And here are my backs. I'm going to overlap them. Put them down loosely how I'd like to overlap, with right sides facing each other. Hopefully this can be seen. Should check. Yeah. So now the first step I do, let me get my pins. I'm gonna, see how I want these, about where I want these 2 backs to overlap with one another. And what I found that I like to do is, I see how I would like them, decide on placement, and then I'm pinning just the 2 backs together. That is my first step. So now it'll kind of be like one unit. I kind of put those in the middle. All right. And so you see that's about where it's going to be. And the next step is about the elastic, hopefully. And I'm going to, maybe I should lift this. Yeah, maybe that's good. All right, so now I'm going to pin the elastic in the sides, and I'll show you how I do that. Let me see if I can put this down. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take one pin, one that's, you know, if I can find one that's rather long. I'm recording, I'm recording. All right, I'm going to pick this up to show you. All right, so I pinned it just through the front. On the top and bottom. And I like to leave the top of the pin, you know, kind of sticking out a lot. Here, I'll show. Because now what I'm going to do is put this over, and I'm going to pin it again right there and right there. Yeah, I guess I'll show that. If I can. So I'm getting another pin, you know, putting it right over, and I'm putting the pin through the back, the elastic, and the front. And same for this pin, through the back, elastic, and front. All right, so you see how that is. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So I've now done it to this side as well, and it should be noted for the tie style masks, when I've made them, where I've put the elastic is also where I would choose to put the tie. I would, like I said, fold it. I would iron, like fold and iron in half. Well, I'd, like basically, it's hard to explain. It would be folded like 4 times and then ironed, basically, and stitched. And then I would kind of roll it into a coil, and I would pin the end here, and it would be in the middle just as the elastic is. And I would pin it to the right side so that it wouldn't shift around while I was sewing it. But anyhow, making it with elastic is a lot less steps. So that's what I'm doing. And I've seen where they will just, you know, choose to sew it with the ties on the edge, like on the whole edge, or the edge is this way when it's done. The way I've done it is treated it just like the elastic. And in other words, I would sew it here. All right, now what I'm going to do is I am going to stitch all around here. And as you can see, I am not a perfectionist when it comes to this, but I think they function, I think these masks function pretty well. So next time I turn on the camera, it will have all been stitched around. All right, now I've sewed all the way around a perfect, you know, I didn't have to leave a gap because I have the pocket. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to flip it inside out. So that's how it looks. You flip it inside out. Some people like to put in, you know, I guess there's some kind of tools to help pop it out. If I wanted to, I could put like a clean chopstick in there. I kind of give it a little pull. And I think I should note that I find myself using nylon thread, and I know there's mixed ideas about, some people say, oh, that can melt easily, with the iron or with high heat. I'm aware of these things. It's still my preference. It hasn't caused me any problems. If I notice any problems, I will adjust accordingly. But for now, I'm continuing to do that. Am I recommending that for everybody? No, it's just what I like to do. So I'm just acknowledging that. All right, so now I'm going to iron this. All right, so now I've ironed it. It's nice and flat. Here's my pocket. The next step I'm gonna do is sew the little channel for a twisty tie or other kind of wire. Most people are, I know this part I don't know, maybe being a little too anal, I'm not sure. But most people are right-handed, so I am probably going to I'm gonna start right there, iron straight right there, of course do back stitching. Oh, and when the last sewing step I did, I made sure to do lots of, back stitching near the elastic. Anyhow, so I'm gonna start there, make an L shape like there, and then till about there. I've gone through a few, iterations of these masks, and this is where I'm at now. For a while I was doing like 2 little L's, and then people would have to basically insert it twice. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Maybe I was concerned it would fall out, but it doesn't, with just a little stitch there and continue the stitch there and leave this part open so the wire can be inserted. Sometimes if I'm using a pattern that has like a nifty grid or something, I'll do it on this side, and then I would start there and go that way. So now I'm gonna make the channel. All right, now I've sewn in the little channel. I know since I use the clear thread, it's hard to see, but it's right there for the twisty tie when this is a mask. Now, my next step is going to be to iron pleats into it. I have found that I like to look at the front when I'm ironing because, really, it's about, function and not aesthetic. However, if I'm thinking at least a little bit about how it looks and how the pleats look, because sometimes I've folded it weird and it just looks odd with the pattern, and I didn't care because, like I said, it's about functionality. But when I am folding the 3 pleats, I am going to do that with the fronts. Usually around here, around here, around here. I know some patterns have it like built in exactly where to pleat, but I just kind of feel it. So I'm gonna go do that. Again, I'm gonna plug in my iron. It's set on cotton. I'm gonna fold, hold. Maybe I'll film that. My iron, I promise it's clean. It's been through the wash, the cover, but it's got a little stains. I don't know if you can see, but I guess I'll go ahead and film while I'm ironing.
Okay. The first thing you need to do is to get it tasty. And then you want to get the cheese out.
I'm gonna give it another little iron.
And then we need to get a plate.
Another tutorial happening in the background.
To put on the plate.
Okay.
Then you need to get bread. Choose slices first.
Some tutorials have a total of 2 pleats. Maybe that's fine too. I usually do 3. And if I accidentally steam burn myself a little, this is usually where I've done that. Never any visible, burns or anything. But just where I accidentally. If I get hurt, this is the step. So there's 1 pleat. I'm actually not going to pin it. I know some people do. I haven't seen the need, even if I do a bunch in a row, like several masks in a row. I usually don't. Unfold in the second pleat.
Okay, I'll put it together so it's a cheese. Unzip the cheese.
This way too, I can, if I'm looking at the front, I can kind of try to make it even so they look even, which again is probably more about us. You know, I mean, I guess there's some functionality there too, but I like it better when they look kind of even. And there's the third pleat. And I try not to go over the wire channel part too much, which again, there's no wire in there right now, but it exists for the wire. I know some patterns have you go ahead and sew one in 100%. I am sharing how I do it, what I found that I like and works for me. By the way, my masks I have put, usually just put through the regular wash. I'll often put in a lingerie bag. If you don't have one of those mesh bags, you could always just put in a pillowcase and put a knot. That's what I do, especially the tie kind. And I both put them through the dryer or just hung them. So now I'm gonna sew. Here, I'll just get this. I didn't put pins. I'm just gonna go ahead and sew. And I'm going to sew all the way around again, and I'm going to be careful not to sew through more than one layer when I'm going through this side and this side. And because of the channel right there, I need to make sure to really stay close to the top. All right, I had some needle issues. I had to troubleshoot, but here is the last step was after I ironed it out. Again, I did not pin. I just kind of winged it. So they're not perfectly even, but I assure you it functions well. One thing to keep in mind when I'm sewing this part right here, sometimes I'll kind of open it up when I'm sewing this very edge just to make sure I don't accidentally sew another part of the mask. And that is it. That is the mask. And later, when someone wears this, they'll put in a twisty tie on the inside right there. Right there. Or if you just use the surgical mask as your filter, you could just use the natural little, you know, hard like wire thingy that comes in that and use that for your nose. Or put in a twisty tie too and double up. Whatever you think. Or if you can get your hands on some of that blue stuff from a hospital, use that as your filter. Actually, if anyone has any of that, I would love a couple pieces to wash and switch off as filter for my masks when I have to return to work at a hospital. And that's my tutorial. Thank you.